The champagne glass shattered against the marble floor at exactly 8:34 p.m. 300 guests turned to stare. My mother's face went white as she looked from me to my sister Penelope, still holding the microphone at the engagement party she'd spent $40,000 planning. "Say that again," Mom whispered, her hand gripping the back of a chair. The worst part wasn't that I'd just exposed the truth in front of everyone. It was that I had 17 years of proof in the folder tucked under my arm, and she was about to learn she'd spent my entire childhood worshiping the wrong daughter. Let me take you back to where this really started. I was 8 years old, sitting at our kitchen table with a report card full of A's. Perfect scores in every subject. I'd even won the district science fair. Mom glanced at it for exactly 4 seconds. "That's nice, Genevieve." Then she turned to Penelope, who'd brought home a B- in math. "Penny, sweetheart, let's frame this. You worked so hard." I watched her hang my sister's mediocre report card on the refrigerator while mine got stuffed in a drawer. That was the pattern. For 17 years. When I made the varsity soccer team as a freshman, the only freshman in school history, Mom missed every single game. She was at Penelope's drama rehearsals. When I won the state debate championship, Mom couldn't come to the awards ceremony. She was helping Penelope shop for homecoming dresses. But here's what really got me. I didn't realize it was wrong. I thought I was the problem, that I wasn't trying hard enough to earn her attention. The breaking point came 3 months before that engagement party. I'd just gotten my acceptance letter to Princeton with a full academic scholarship. Full ride. Everything is covered. 4 years at one of the best universities in the world. I ran downstairs, a letter clutched in my shaking hands. Mom, I got in. Princeton accepted me." She was on the phone. She held up one finger. "Wait." I stood there for 11 minutes while she talked to the caterer about centerpieces for Penelope's college graduation party. Penelope, who'd barely scraped through State University with a 2.3 GPA. When Mom finally hung up, I showed her the letter. My hands were trembling. "Oh, that's wonderful, honey," she said, not even reading it. "Did you remember to pick up your sister's dry cleaning?" Something inside me cracked. Not broke, cracked. Like ice before it shatters completely. My best friend Bailey saw it happen that night when I showed up at her house at 10 p.m., still holding that acceptance letter. "This isn't normal," Bailey said, her eyes fierce. "Jen, your mom is... This is textbook golden child syndrome. You know that, right?" "Golden child what?" "When a parent picks one kid as perfect and the other becomes invisible, no matter what you do." I went home and Googled it until 3 a.m. Every single article felt like someone had written my biography. That's when I started documenting everything. Not to be vindictive. I just needed to see if I was crazy, if I was imagining the disparity. I created a spreadsheet. Dates, times, incidents. I went through old photos, videos, and family calendars. I interviewed my grandmother, who lived 3 states away but remembered things my mother had conveniently forgotten. The numbers were staggering. In 10 years of school events, my mother attended 4 of mine. She attended 82 of Penelope's. I counted. I had the program saved. For birthday parties, Penelope's average cost, $6,000. Mine, $230, usually at a pizza place because Mom said we needed to be practical. College funds. Penelope had $47,000 saved. I had $900 and was told to get scholarships if I wanted to go to college. I compiled everything into a document, 63 pages, photos, receipts, emails, text messages, an entire childhood of being a second choice, organized chronologically. But I wasn't sure what to do with it. Confronting Mom felt impossible. She'd just deny it, say I was being dramatic, tell me I was remembering things wrong. Then Penelope got engaged. Her fiancé Wesley proposed in October. Nice enough guy, though he worked at his father's car dealership and had failed the bar exam 3 times. But Penelope loved him, and that's what mattered. The engagement party became Mom's obsession. She planned it like a royal wedding. Live band, ice sculptures, custom invitations with gold leaf, designer dress for Penelope that cost more than my entire wardrobe combined. "This is my daughter's special moment," she kept saying to anyone who'd listen. 2 weeks before the party, I got news of my own. I'd been selected for the Goldwater Scholarship, one of the most prestigious undergraduate awards in America. Only 496 students nationwide receive it. It came with money for grad school and basically guaranteed my future in research. I was shaking when I told Mom. This was it. This was so big she'd have to acknowledge it. That's nice, sweetie. Hey, what do you think of the shrimp cocktail or the crab cakes for the party appetizers? Nice. She said it was nice Bailey found me sobbing in my car an hour later. You need to tell her, she said. At the party, in front of everyone. Make her see what she's done. I can't do that to Penelope. This isn't about Penelope. This is about you finally being seen. The engagement party was at the country club. Chandeliers dripping crystal, tables covered in white roses, a string quartet playing in the corner. Mom had invited everyone, extended family, family friends, people from her book club, even our old neighbors from 10 years ago. Penelope looked beautiful in her champagne-colored dress. I was genuinely happy for her. My sister wasn't the villain here. She was just the lucky one. Mom gave a speech at 8:30. Holding a glass of champagne, eyes shining, she talked about Penelope's journey, her accomplishments, her bright future. I always knew this day would come, Mom said, her voice catching. From the moment Penny was born, I knew she was destined for wonderful things. She's always been so special, so extraordinary. My pride and joy. Something in me snapped, not the crack from before, the complete shattering. I stood up, my chair scraped against the floor. 300 faces turned toward me. Mom, can I say something? She blinked, surprised. I suppose... I walked to where she stood, pulled the microphone from her hand. My heart was hammering against my ribs so hard I thought everyone could hear it. I want to talk about what makes someone special, I said. My voice was steady, calm. I want to talk about being extraordinary. Mom smiled uncertainly. She thought I was about to praise Penelope. I was 8 when I won the district science fair. You didn't come to the ceremony. I was 14 when I made varsity soccer as the only freshman in school history. You missed every single game. I was 16 when I won the state debate championship. You were shopping with Penelope that day. The room had gone completely silent. Mom's face was draining of color. 3 months ago, I got accepted to Princeton with a full academic scholarship. You said, "That's nice," and asked if I'd picked up dry cleaning. 2 weeks ago, I won the Goldwater Scholarship, one of the most prestigious awards in the country. You asked about shrimp cocktails. Genevieve? Mom started, but I kept going. I have 63 pages of documentation here. Photos, receipts, calendars. 17 years of you choosing her over me. Not because I wasn't good enough, not because I didn't try hard enough, but because for some reason you decided before I could even speak that I would always be second best. I set the folder on the gift table. My hands weren't shaking anymore. I just thought you should know. You chose wrong. You spent 17 years investing in the wrong daughter. I looked at Penelope then. She had tears streaming down her face. Penny, I love you. Congratulations on your engagement. You deserve every bit of happiness. Then I turned back to Mom. But you don't get to pretend anymore. Everyone here heard it. Everyone here knows. That's when I set down the microphone and walked out. And that's when Mom's champagne glass hit the floor. I sat in my car in the parking lot for 27 minutes. My whole body was shaking now, adrenaline draining away, replaced by terror about what I'd just done. My phone started buzzing. Texts from relatives. Some supported me, some called me selfish and cruel. My Aunt Rosemary sent, "It's about damn time someone said it." Then Bailey appeared, sliding into the passenger seat. Holy shit, Jen. That was the most badass thing I've ever seen. I just ruined my sister's engagement party. You told the truth. There's a difference. My phone rang. Dad. I answered with shaking hands. Come home, sweetheart, he said quietly. Your mother wants to talk. Did she actually say that, or are you just trying to smooth things over? Silence. Then, please come home. I found Mom sitting in the living room at midnight, still in her party dress, mascara streaked down her face. The 63-page document was spread across the coffee table. "I read every page," she said. Her voice was raw. I stood in the doorway, arms crossed, protecting myself. "When you were born, you were so easy," Mom continued. "You slept through the night. You rarely cried. You were content to play by yourself. Penelope needed constant attention. She was colicky, demanding, and difficult. I thought you didn't need me as much." "So you stopped trying?" "I stopped seeing." She looked up and her eyes were devastated. "You were so capable, so independent. Every year you just get stronger, smarter, more self-sufficient. I took that for granted. I thought you were fine without me." "I wasn't fine, Mom. I was invisible." She stood up, took 3 steps toward me, then stopped, like she wasn't sure she had the right to come closer. "I can't undo 17 years, she said. "I can't give you back the childhood you deserved. But Genevieve, I am so incredibly sorry, and I am so incredibly proud of who you've become, despite my failure as your mother." "Why now? Why? Does it take public humiliation for you to finally see me?" "Because I'm a coward," she said simply. "Because it's easier to maintain patterns than to examine them. Because your sister's neediness felt like love, and your independence felt like rejection." "I'm not making excuses. There are no excuses. I failed you." We didn't fix everything that night. You can't repair 17 years of neglect with one conversation. But it was a start. Mom went to therapy. Real therapy. 3 times a week. She called it confronting the patterns I learned from my own mother. Apparently, I wasn't the first invisible daughter in our family line. She attended my Princeton send-off party, which she threw, spending even more money than she'd spent on Penelope's engagement. "I have 17 years of parties to make up for," she said when I protested the ice sculpture. She drove me to campus herself, 8 hours in the car, just us, talking about everything and nothing. She asked about my research interests, my hopes for the future, what I was afraid of. She listened, really listened. "I know I can't be the mother you needed when you were 8, she said when we were unloading boxes in my dorm. "But I'd like to try to be the mother you need now, if you'll let me." It wasn't perfect. We had hard conversations, setbacks, moments where old patterns resurfaced and I had to call her out. But she kept showing up. She kept trying. The thing about being invisible your whole childhood is that you learn to validate yourself. You learn that your worth isn't determined by who sees you or who doesn't. You learn to be your own champion. But here's what I didn't know. It still matters. It still heals something when the person who should have seen you all along finally opens their eyes. 6 months later, I'm thriving at Princeton, top of my class in molecular biology. I am already working in a research lab. Already planning my PhD applications. Mom texts me every morning, nothing elaborate, just thinking of you or proud of you, or sometimes just a heart emoji. Small things, consistent things, the kind of attention I craved my whole childhood, finally arriving in my adulthood. Penelope and I are closer now too. She called me 2 weeks after the party, crying. "I didn't know," she said. "I swear, Jen, I didn't know it was like that. I'm so sorry." "It wasn't your fault. You were just a kid too. But I benefited from it. I let you be invisible because it was easier." We're both working on breaking the cycle. Being sisters instead of competitors. Seeing each other instead of comparing ourselves. As for that folder, those 63 pages of proof, Mom asked if she could keep it. "I need to remember," she said. "I need to make sure I never forget what I almost lost by not seeing who was right in front of me. If you're the invisible child, the one always trying to earn love that should be freely given, the one wondering why your best is never enough, it's not you. It was never you. You are not too much or too little. You are not too independent to need love. You are not too successful to deserve attention. And sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is break the silence. Speak your truth. Make them see what they've chosen to ignore. Because you deserve to be seen. Not as second best. Not as the backup plan. but as exactly who you are, extraordinary, capable, worthy of celebration, even if it takes shattering a champagne glass at a party to make them finally look